Something eerie happened to this woman while she was sunbathing at the beach. Her husband suddenly asked to go into the ocean alone. Seeing that his sunscreen was applied well enough, she agreed. But then, things took a bizarre turn. When the woman woke up again, her husband was nowhere to be found. She asked a nearby couple, but they claimed they had never seen her husband at all. Panic-stricken, the woman dialed his number, but after a long time, there was still no answer. A powerful sense of dread rose in her chest, and she scrambled toward the shore. Fearing he'd had an accident in the water, she pulled out his photo, hoping the rescue team could find him. However, after circling the island several times, they found absolutely no sign of the man. Left with no choice, Daisy went to the police station for help. But after hearing her story, the inspector acted like he was listening to one big joke. The currents around the island are sluggish and the water isn't deep. Even if someone met with foul play, they wouldn't just vanish into thin air. The detective didn't take her seriously and, after a few brief questions, told her to just go home. Daisy collapsed onto her bed in despair, praying for her husband to return to her soon. In the days that followed, she went to the beach every day to wait. Once her vacation ended, Daisy had to return to her job at a school. But a strange coincidence occurred in her classroom. She realized a new student in her class was the very security guard who had helped her at the beach. After that, the boy constantly looked for chances to get close to Daisy, staging accidental run-ins to grab a meal or even inviting her to a concert. Daisy knew exactly what he was after, but she still believed her husband was alive. She couldn't betray him. Daisy made her feelings clear to Jeff, hoping he would leave her alone. One night, while preparing lesson plans, she accidentally stumbled upon a video of her husband's company party on the computer. A woman in red appeared to be very close to her husband. He even seemed genuinely happy with her. Daisy watched the video over and over. Her husband had never mentioned this woman. Could his disappearance be linked to her? The next day, Daisy analyzed the video with a close friend, but the friend didn't notice anything unusual. She reassured Daisy that it was normal not to know every colleague, and besides, the husband wasn't doing anything inappropriate. After hearing her friend's take, Daisy began to wonder if she was just being paranoid. But when she got home, she received a call from the police station. They said a man's body had been recovered from the sea and wanted Daisy to identify it. In an instant, it felt like Daisy had fallen into an icebox. She rushed to the station, heart in her throat, and only breathed a sigh of relief when she confirmed it wasn't her husband. However, since her husband had been missing for months, the inspector felt it was a waste of time and energy to keep looking. If he had really died at sea, he would have been found by now. Any further search would be a fool's errand. Though Daisy was unwilling to accept reality, she had no choice but to painfully sign the waiver to stop the search. Back home, Daisy was heartbroken, unable to accept that her husband might never return. That night, she tossed and turned, the woman in red haunting her thoughts. Her sixth sense told her their relationship was definitely more than just professional. Daisy made up her mind, she was going to find him. She opened her computer and scrutinized every photo of her husband, realizing that this mysterious woman appeared in almost every single one. But the look in the woman's eyes seemed to be filled with nothing but hatred. This led Daisy to suspect her husband and this woman shared an unspeakable secret. She began going through his belongings and, sure enough, found a receipt for a necklace in his coat pocket. Daisy had never seen this necklace, it clearly wasn't for her. She hurried to the bank to check his recent records but was told by the teller that the account holder had to be present. Daisy left in silence, but she didn't give up. She rummaged through a junk box her husband left behind and found a photo album with an envelope tucked inside. It contained clippings of news from old newspapers and photos of family trips. As Daisy looked through them one by one, she soon realized the content was getting increasingly disturbing. The photos seemed to document a car crash. Why would her husband keep newspaper clippings and photos of a wreck? Just then, the doorbell rang. Daisy quickly hid the album. Once she confirmed it was the inspector, she felt safe enough to open the door. But as soon as he sat down, he dropped a bombshell. Her husband had actually embezzled company funds. The detective wanted to find clues, but he didn't expect Daisy to be completely in the dark about her husband's crimes. Under Daisy's calm exterior, her heart felt like it was being shredded. To find the truth, she met one of her husband's colleagues at a cafe, hoping to get info on the woman in red. But the colleague looked at the photo and said they only knew her in passing. All he knew was that they were superior and subordinate, and that the woman had resigned 3 months ago. Daisy started searching online and finally, through a trail of breadcrumbs, found the company where the woman in red currently worked. The doorbell always seemed to ring at the most critical moments. This time, it was Jeff. She was in no mood for a new romance, and given the suspicious details about her husband, she wanted the truth. But Jeff said sincerely, "If you're going to keep going, I'm going with you." And so, the two began their investigation together. They planned to try their luck at the woman's company and, surprisingly, they actually spotted her. She was still wearing that same vibrant red dress. They followed her into a mall, but she only bought some essential medicine. After leaving the mall, she went straight home. Now they had her address, but they were blocked by the gates of her villa. Jeff decided to take Daisy home first, promising he could uncover the truth. The next morning, Jeff arrived at the woman's house. After parking, he intentionally deflated one of his tires. Once everything was set, he rang the doorbell. Soon, the woman opened a small window on the door. Jeff lied, saying his tire had blown out and he wanted to borrow a jack to change the spare. After a moment of hesitation, the woman brought out the jack. But she was extremely guarded. While Jeff changed the tire, she watched him secretly from behind the window. Fortunately, Jeff played it cool and finished the job in 5 minutes. Surprisingly, when Jeff returned the jack, the woman, noticing his good looks, actually invited him inside to wash his hands. Jeff, who had been looking for a way in, took the opportunity. While washing his hands, he secretly scouted the layout of the house. But everything he saw belonged to a woman. There wasn't a single trace of a man living there. Just as he was about to leave, the woman cordially invited him to stay for tea. Jeff played along, lying that his parents were looking to buy a villa in the suburbs, which is why he was in the area. Jeff's wit and charm quickly won her over. As he was leaving, the woman even proactively set a time for their next meeting. Immediately after leaving, Jeff found Daisy and told her everything. He guessed the woman in red probably wasn't a villain. Even so, Daisy remained convinced that this woman was hiding a secret and that her husband's disappearance was tied to her. To ease Daisy's mind, Jeff went to the woman's house again, even bringing ingredients to help her grill meat in the yard. Jeff then used the bathroom as an excuse to sneak around the house. Suddenly, he heard a noise from a nearby room, but the door was bolted shut. Just as he tried to speak to whoever was inside, the woman appeared right behind him. Luckily, Jeff reacted fast enough that she didn't get suspicious. After the meal, Jeff picked up a trophy on the table to look at it. Unexpectedly, the woman snapped at him to put it down. Realizing she'd overreacted, she quickly explained that the trophy meant a lot to her. To break the awkward silence, she invited Jeff to practice shooting in the yard. But while the two were focused on the targets, on the other side of the villa, a person in black in a wheelchair slipped out of a warehouse. Soon after, Jeff said his goodbyes. But the moment he left, the woman noticed wheelchair tracks on the ground. She stormed inside to confront the person in the wheelchair. It turned out the woman in the wheelchair was her twin sister. To keep her plan from being ruined, the woman pushed her sister out and blocked her in with a shoe cabinet. Meanwhile, Jeff was reporting back to Daisy. He was certain someone was locked in that secret room. He also mentioned the woman's intense reaction to the trophy. He had caught a glimpse of a name engraved on the bottom, Shevik. Hearing the name sent a shock through Daisy's body. She ran to the bedroom and pulled out that old newspaper from her husband's box. The athlete who died in that car crash was named Shevik, and the only survivors of that crash were his twin daughters. It seemed the woman in red was one of them. But what did all this have to do with her husband's disappearance? To uncover the truth, Jeff decided to use his charms to lure the woman away while Daisy snuck into the villa to search. Jeff sent her an invite to go out, and the trick worked perfectly. She agreed without a second thought. That night, Jeff took the woman to a bar. On the other side, Daisy took the opportunity to break into the villa. She slipped inside silently, but as soon as she turned on her flashlight, she saw someone sitting in the corner. It was the twin sister. Daisy wasn't afraid, she had already guessed who she was. And the sister showed no hostility. She knew why Daisy was there and even led her to the husband. On the way, the sister explained everything. Years ago, when their father was driving the family on a trip, a kite suddenly blocked his vision. Their father slammed on the brakes, but a truck behind them couldn't react in time and slammed into them. Their parents died on the spot, leaving the sisters alone. She herself was severely injured, leaving her legs permanently paralyzed. And the child flying that kite was Daisy's husband. Because he was so young at the time, he wasn't held responsible for the accident. For years, the older sister had lived in hatred, blaming the man for all their misfortune. To get revenge, 6 months ago, the sister infiltrated the husband's company and used her beauty to enchant him. And now, the man was being held in a secret room. Knowing the truth, Daisy was frantic to save him. But she didn't know that the woman had already installed an alarm in the room. Back at the bar, Jeff went to the bathroom. Just then, the woman's phone received an alarm notification. She realized instantly she'd been played. Enraged, she stormed out of the bar and sped back to the villa. Daisy had just found the entrance to the secret room, but it was locked tight with a heavy iron door. Left with no choice, she screamed her husband's name. The next second, the woman knocked her unconscious with a club. When Daisy woke up, she found herself imprisoned in the secret room. A stranger was crouching next to her. It took her a long time to recognize him. It was her husband, who had been missing for 6 months. Due to the long-term imprisonment and torture, he was no longer in his right mind. After Daisy's repeated questioning, he finally told her the truth. That day at the beach, after Daisy fell asleep, he secretly took her phone and swam to the other side of the island to elope with the woman. But as soon as they reached a hotel, the woman gave him a glass of juice. He drank it all and passed out. When he woke up, the woman had him locked in this room. To avenge the car crash, she tortured him in various ways every day. Now, the woman was bored of her game. She shoved a gun into the man's hand and threatened him to shoot Daisy himself. She wanted this man who ruined her life to feel the pain of losing a loved one. Only then would the old score be settled. Otherwise, they both would die today. Inside the house, the sister, wanting to stop her sister from making a bigger mistake, secretly called the police. After describing the situation to them, she took her father's trophy to the yard. She tried to talk her sister out of it. After all, the man was only a 6-year-old child at the time. But the woman was blinded by hate and wouldn't listen to any reasoning, still threatening the man to pull the trigger. Fortunately, at the critical moment, Jeff arrived and tackled her, struggling for the gun. Using his size to his advantage, Jeff quickly pinned her to the ground. But the woman bit his hand hard. In pain, Jeff let go, and the woman broke free and shot him. In the chaos, the husband lunged and pushed the woman. As the wooden boards beneath her feet snapped, the woman plummeted into a deep well behind her. The police arrived shortly after. They arrested Daisy's husband for financial fraud. Jeff had been shot, but fortunately, the bullet missed his vitals, and he survived after emergency surgery. The woman wasn't so lucky. When the police pulled her out of the deep well, she had been frozen into an ice sculpture by the freezing water. A year passed in the blink of an eye. Daisy and Jeff ended up together and even had a beautiful baby. As for the twin sister, she sold off all the property after her sister's death and had surgery to recover the use of her legs. Because she had brought the man food every day while he was imprisoned, they had developed feelings for each other over time. She promised she would wait for the day he was released from prison.